All that glitters isn't gold, and all that is golden doesn't glitter. I think we all know what it's like to really have a burning desire to want something or someone in our life. In a lot of those instances, we'll do almost anything that it takes to make it happen, right? And then we invest so much energy. You know, we go to the nth degree to make a sacrifice so that very thing or that very person that we desire can be in our life, can provide us with the fulfillment, can provide us with the happiness that we're seeking to have from it or from them. And then the next thing we know, we recognize that we're not happy. Sure, we were lucky. We had that thing that we wanted happen. We chased after that, like, quote unquote, Holy Grail, and we achieved it. We had a desire for another person to be in our life, and we connected with them. And then the only thing that happens after that is we find that, gee, my life was a lot more meaningful when I wasn't chasing after this, when I wasn't making all these sacrifices, when this thing or when this person was not in my life. My life had more purpose to it. And it causes us to question. Now, on the 5th of October, as Venus stations and begins its retrograde motion for nearly 6 weeks until November 15th or 16th, dependent upon whether you're in the States or in Europe and further east. But as Venus stations retrograde, it's conjuncting Jupiter. Sure, they're, like a good 10, 12 degrees apart, but it's still, for all intents and purposes, is a conjunction. Now, when you think Jupiter-Venus, what do you think of? You think all this happy-go-lucky stuff, don't we? Right? Well, it's probably safer to go whenever there's a Jupiter and Venus conjunction. There's something pretty meaningful that's taking place, but it doesn't always necessarily feel wonderful and pleasant. Two different things happen when you have a Janus Jupiter, when you have a Jupiter-Venus conjunction, right? There's a condition that's created between Venus and Jupiter because Jupiter considers Venus an enemy. So when Jupiter and Venus conjunct, Venus starves Jupiter. And Jupiter creates something for Venus that's called delight. This is something called, these are two different lagitati avastas, right? So Venus will starve Jupiter. That means all that purpose, all that meaning that you were hoping to have in your life, or all that meaning that you had in your life previously, it gets starved by that external pursuit, by that external desire, by pursuing that thing that is externally meaningful or materially meaningful, right? Jupiter, in delighting Venus, gives the grace, the good luck for that thing to happen. And so it ends up creating somewhat of a melancholy situation where, sure, there's the achievement of something that you desired, but at the same time, there's the lack of meaning or purpose in what you thought was going to provide that very thing. Now, somewhere in each of our lives, there's a process like this that's taking place. There's something or someone that you thought you wanted in your life, and now that you're there, now that that situation has come to pass, you're not really sure if you want that. And so you're recognizing on one level, as Jupiter is also forming an angle with Rahu in Pusha Nakshatra, you're recognizing all the limitations that now fill your life, something that you thought was going to be enhanced on one level, you're having to make a lot of sacrifices for. You're finding yourself, rather than having your life expand, suddenly your life is constricting. And it's not bringing you that happiness. And with Jupiter in Vishakha Nakshatra, one part of you is going, I'm ready to shift on from this because it's too much sacrifice. It's too much energy. It's too consuming for me to deal with. But I can't break away from that so easily. I can't break away from that so easily. I'm too invested. So one part of me is back here, still having to live with this limitation, still having to make a sacrifice for something that I don't really want to make a sacrifice for anymore. And whilst I'm making preparations to move to that next stage of the journey, I'm not really able to fully do that yet. Now, as Venus stations direct, it's also forming an angle with Mars in Shravana Nakshatra, and Venus itself is in Swati Nakshatra. There's a very restless, uneasy energy that's really wanting to break free. Both Venus and Mars are in what are called Chara and Chala nakshatras, which are moving and unsteady energy. And so there's a lot of nervous energy locked up within this. And so as this energy builds right around the 5th, there's this part of you that goes, right, here's what I could do in order to create something new. I'm feeling like maybe I should do that. And maybe I should do that sooner rather than later. But is that really the answer? Well, the answer is not going to be there, it seems, immediately, at least for many of us, right? But at the same time, if you take advantage of this Venus retrograde period, as Venus backtracks its way through Swati Nakshatra and back into Chitra Nakshatra, especially as Venus goes back into Chitra Nakshatra, we're able to really see on many levels how the veneer on a certain situation is kind of washing off. And sometimes when that veneer washes off, right, it actually brings a new shine to a situation. Sometimes when that veneer washes off, things actually stay rather dull and unsightly and uncomfortable and uneasy. And Chitra Nakshatra has this way of making us confront, is this really what is a fit in my life? Or is this something in my life that's going to make me have a fit? and, you know, we come to that situation where we go, okay, my ethics are this, and this fits in with that particular set of ethics. This fits in with that particular set of values. So sure, it's all okay. And so the situation has changed. I'm understanding it on a different level. Let's stick with it, right? The other scenario is, right, I'm enchanted with this. And I feel like the sacrifice is too much. And it's time to make a change. Either way, in either of those scenarios, a change is imminent. It's either a change of situation and scenery, or just simply a change of situation. So which is it going to be for you? If you'd like a little bit of help understanding that and getting a better grip on what this particular aspect or anything else or any other astrological energy means for you, please do feel free to schedule an astrological consultation with me through the astrological services page of my website. If you're interested in doing so, you can do so at the link above. That's going to do it for this look at Jupiter's conjunction with Venus in Vishakha and Swati nakshatras, respectively, as Venus stations retrograde on the 5th of October 2018. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.